Life on Earth as we know it would be unimaginable without the power and mystery of the oceans. Since the dawn of civilization, humanity has relied on the sea for survival, for exploration, and as the stage upon which empires rose and fell. The oceans give life, but they also remind us of their immeasurable power, beautiful, vast, and beyond human comprehension. But let's imagine the impossible. In this hypothetical scenario, we're going to pull the plug on the ocean floor and see what happens if Earth's deep blue seas were drained away. Wait, what? Yes, it sounds absurd, but let's dive in. Hello Internet, and welcome back to one of the strangest questions we could ever ask. What if we drained the oceans? Now before we begin, let's be clear. This idea is as ridiculous as it sounds. If the oceans suddenly disappeared, giant squid, colossal sharks, and maybe even a creature like Cthulhu would probably be more than a little upset. But before we picture all the monsters lurking in the abyss, let's ask the first big question. How would we even drain the oceans in the first place? To start, consider the scale. About 97% of all Earth's water lies in the oceans, covering more than 70% of the planet's surface. Back in 2010, scientists used satellite data to calculate the ocean's volume. A staggering 1.332 billion cubic kilometers of water. That's beyond imagination. Draining that much water isn't like emptying a bathtub. Even if a massive drain, say the size of a London double-decker bus, suddenly opened at the bottom of the Mariana Trench, water levels would only fall by less than a centimeter per day. At that rate, it would take hundreds of thousands of years before the oceans were gone. So, let's speed things up. Imagine multiple giant drains appearing across the seafloor, funneling water straight into the void of space. Even then, it would still take thousands of years for the oceans to empty, but gradually, Earth would begin to transform. At just a 50-meter drop, the world map would change dramatically. Islands such as the UK, Sri Lanka, Java, and New Guinea would merge with neighboring lands. The Netherlands, a nation shaped by its battle against the sea, would finally rise above water levels that have defined its entire history. At 100 meters, a massive new island would emerge near Nova Scotia, the former site of the Grand Banks of Newfoundland, once one of the richest fishing grounds in the world. Of course, those fish would now be gone, sucked into the endless void. As sea levels continued to fall, inland bodies of water like the Black Sea would stop draining, becoming landlocked lakes. These would be some of the last refuges for aquatic life, and perhaps even humanity. At 200 meters, new land masses would spread across the Pacific. Indonesia's thousands of islands would merge into a single giant landmass. At 500 meters, Japan would physically connect to Russia through the Korean peninsula, an incredible transformation of geography. At 1 kilometer, New Zealand would grow dramatically larger, while the Arctic Ocean would shrink into a much smaller, isolated body of water. At 3 kilometers, the planet would be unrecognizable. The vast network of mid-ocean ridges, once hidden beneath miles of water, would rise as towering mountain ranges. Entire alien landscapes, previously untouched by humans, would stretch across the Earth. And then, there are the treasures. It's estimated that up to 3 million shipwrecks lie hidden beneath the oceans, waiting to be uncovered. Draining the seas would expose them all. Gold, artifacts, and relics from thousands of years of civilization. But the real question is, would anyone still be alive to find them? Because here's the harsh truth, draining the oceans would collapse Earth's ecosystems. Weather systems, food chains, and life itself depend on the seas. Humanity, as we know it, would likely be wiped out. Yet, maybe not entirely. Inland seas and lakes, like the Great Lakes of North America, would remain, at least in reduced form. Small populations of humans might cling to survival, using these waters as their last lifeline. Over generations, a new civilization could rise from these survivors, adapting to a radically changed world. Eventually, explorers from this future civilization might venture down into the drained depths of the Mariana Trench itself, once the deepest, darkest abyss on Earth. They would walk where only strange, alien-like creatures once lived, and perhaps they would finally discover the answer to a question humanity has always asked. What really lies at the bottom of the ocean? Of course, maybe it would be nothing more than ancient rocks, strange fossils, and long-forgotten shipwrecks. Or maybe, just maybe, it would be something much worse. Something like Cthulhu. So there's your answer. If we drained the oceans, most of humanity would perish, ecosystems would collapse, but a handful might survive. Civilization would rebuild in strange new ways, and along the way, we might uncover the hidden secrets of Earth's most mysterious depths. When you put it like that, it's terrifying, but also fascinating.